Oh man, we're finally in spring. It's about fucking time. Fuck you, snow.
Yeah, you all got it real bad up there. I don't even know that we got snow this year. I
Oh,
think if we did, it was less than an inch and it was gone the next day.
like for us, like what was it? We have something that we call Fool Spring where I live, and like at
Sure.
first,
Yeah.
all the snow's almost gone. There's like very
Yep.
little hills, and like yay! And then the following week, hey fuckers, you ready for a 4-day blizzard? What?
Yep.
And that's when everyone's winter tires were taken off at the
Of
same
course.
time.
Yeah.
Everyone was Bambi on ice that day.
We have those kind of things. Like Kentucky weather is bizarre at best. And yeah, we run into a lot of that where it's like you get that first hit of like 70 degrees.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh fuck yeah, like it's warming up, and you put away the sweaters, and you're like, all right, we're good now. And then 2 days later, it is 25 degrees, and it's like,
Like what the
why,
fuck just happened?
why?
In the words of Chris Farley from Black Sheep, what in the hell was that all about?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm
Oh,
glad it's warming up there for you.
oh, it's about fucking damn time. Now,
Everyone's gonna be back on the road, and you know they're gonna be trying to speed up a lot because of there's no snow. You can actually drive.
oh, the jackasses are already out in full swing already. Especially the dickheads in like lift kit trucks.
Of course. I
I'm like,
mean,
of course, tiny wanker over here.
yeah, with the balls hanging from the.
I wish those things died out. That was the dumbest shit accessory I've ever seen on a car. It, I don't
I
know.
mean, you know what that is, right? It's gender affirming care.
I fucking love it. Just to be sure, hey, I'm a guy. It's like,
Yeah, just so everyone knows, I am so filled with testosterone. I had to put testicles on my truck.
especially the blue balls, right?
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Oh man. Well, speaking of ridiculousness, hello everyone. Welcome once again to the Bpgn podcast. I am the Big Red Gamer. Alongside with me, it's a nerd, it's a plane, it's Captain Who.
Yes, Captain Who here. As you can see, if you're watching the video version, I have a very swirly cosmic background. But yes, Captain Who. Excited to be here and be a part of this again. This is great.
Oh, it's been too damn long. Fuck.
It has.
Man, like I for the hiatus, like I don't know why, but like I got sick multiple times. Like I'm actually starting another flu once again. It's like all nasal.
Jesus.
Like what was it? Throughout COVID, never got sick once.
Hmm.
And then I got COVID the first time back in November. And I was like, okay. And then just before my trip, I was fine. Start school, January is okay. February I get hit hard, sick. And then March I get sick. April I was doing fine until the bitter end of it. Into May just now. And it's like, fuck, my immune system sucks. Whoopee.
Unfortunate. Yeah. I do want to point out, even with the cosmic background, it's going to disappear as I poke at it, but it's highlighting the Strange New Worlds book I just bought.
It's foretelling what's coming in the episode
Yes,
here.
yes. It's great.
Oh man. Well, was it on a lighter note though? Fuck me. Did you tune in to the teaser for Twisted Metal, the TV series?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, if you guys have listened to the episode, or like to our podcast, I've dabbled on Twisted Metal a few times on their games. Love the series, love the franchise. I am stoked for this TV series. Head to toe. Like, for those of you who do not know what Twisted Metal is, which won't be very few, probably you Gen Zs, um, probably to show my
Just to date this game, just so everyone understands, I remember playing the first Twisted Metal game
right,
on a PS1 at my friend Jason's house.
Right.
And you could take, after you loaded the arena, you could take the disc out and put a music CD in, and then listen to music of your choosing as you played Twisted Metal.
I didn't know that. That's fucking
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, but the problem was matches were usually over so quickly you couldn't even get through one song, and then
Oh
you had to
shit.
take the CD out and put the game back in.
Man, like, what was it? The first one I ever played, I think it was Twist Metal 2 was the first one
Hmm.
I played. Because, like, the very first one started in 1995
Yep,
with,
that tracks.
Goth, wow, I can't even talk. I'm so excited here. God. With two creators, Scott Campbell and David Jaffe, working for PlayStation at the time. 1995 was the debut of Twist Metal 1. What basically set the stage for vehicular combat games. And
Yeah,
funny story, the whole idea of Twisted Metal, it was both David and Scott that were in a cab in LA rush hour traffic, and they had the idea, I wish we had rockets and guns on our car, blow these fuckers away to get through traffic. Totally sane by all means. And
I
thus
mean,
Twisted
I
Metal
get
was
it.
born. I don't blame him. One
Yeah,
fucking
no,
bit.
I get it. I live in a small town and I feel that way, so I can't
Oh,
imagine on fucking 405 or whatever it is that they have out there.
oh my god. But yeah, like Twist Metal 2, the first one I played, my go-to was usually Sweet Tooth the Clown.
Sure.
I love playing him, but if I had to pick someone other than him, it was probably Raven or Shadow the Hearse. They had like multiple drivers over the games. There's been
It's
7 games.
yeah. About to say it's been so long since I've played it. I'm gonna have to look here and see who all were the drivers. Uh, da, da, da,
Oh yeah.
da, 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 da. But yeah, well, you continue while I figure out who was actually in this game, and I'll
Yeah,
remember
for
who I
sure. I
liked.
believe the driver of Shadow the Hearse at the time was Mortimer for Twist Metal 2. They also debuted a few other characters in that one. Twister, who was a driver for a Formula One car that like formed a tornado. That was her special. I believe also Mr. Slam was another one. It was an architect who was obsessed with wanting to build like the tallest building with his name on it that he drove like a tractor of some sort or a building machinery,
Right.
yeah. Or bulldozer I think it was, but yeah, like essentially these games were Calypso, who runs the Twisted Metal, he's essentially the devil. And every Twisted Metal, he gets like all walks of life, whether they be like serial killers, mercenaries, outcast, you know, the worst of the worst. And whoever wins this tournament gets one wish, whatever their heart desires. The funny thing is, Calypso will twist those words and make you pay for it.
Oh,
Which,
okay, yeah.
oh
That's
yeah, like in Twisted Metal 2, because in the first one, Outlaw was trying to end like the tournament in the first Twisted Metal. So what Calypso did, he sent him hurling into space for eternity in his car. So Jamie Roberts, who's the sister of Carl Roberts, she drives Outlaw 2 in the
mhm.
second one. And she says to Calypso, I want to see my brother now. He's like, you want to see your brother? She's like, wait, no. And she gets sent into space as well, but she gets
Love it.
smart and she has rockets in her trunk to have her and her brother fly back to Earth in the cutscene. So like it's very twisted, hence the name. But
Hmm.
they had like it's supposed to be a 10 episodes series on Peacock TV starting on July 27th, which that's very fucking soon. We do not
Yeah,
have Peacock, but motherfucker, I will find a way to watch it.
I'd imagine whatever you watch Chucky on.
So Chucky's kind of odd. Like I had a buddy of mine, like he went off to the States and got a copy and brought it over. But I'm gonna find a way still. I'm not
Yeah.
giving up. I've been waiting for this ever since I heard of it. And so they released the full cast list for this series. And before this podcast, I went on a full dive on the names and what cars they're all connected to.
Nice.
Dude, so first off, obviously we got Anthony Mackie, who many
Mhm.
people know him as Falcon from the MCU. He is
Uh,
John.
Captain America.
Oh, Captain America now. Yeah, we got New World Order coming out. Um, he's playing John Doe, which I believe John Doe's first appearance was in Twisted Metal Black. Usually, he's the driver of Roadkill,
Mm.
and if it's around him from this trailer, I'm getting Twisted Metal 2 vibes because the end of that, John Doe, his wish is to wake up from this bad dream, and Calypso says, "Oh, I'm so glad you realized it, but please come back anytime." And he was in a coma the entire
Uh,
time. And when he wakes up and the doctor's like, "Oh, thank God you're alive. You were in a 25 car pileup. Everyone else is still in comas." And when the camera pans back, you see all the other contestants like in comas as well. And it's like, I know these people. That was like the biggest mind blow in the
yeah, that's
90s to
good.
hear that. Um, we also got, I might botch this last name here, Stephanie Beatriz? She was Rosa in
Oh yeah. In
she
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
yeah, she's playing a new character called Quiet. So I'm like, okay, I'm in for that. The one I was happy to see was Navi Campbell. She's playing Raven, the driver of Shadow,
Oh,
the hearse. Which
nice.
Raven was introduced in Twisted Metal Black, which I believe I told you. That was when Twisted Metal went for a very dark, edgy kind of vibe. It was very 2000s horror, like Jacob's Ladder, Seven.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that one worked. And then of course, Samoa Joe is playing the act like the body portrayal of Sweet Tooth, while Will Arnett is doing the voice, which I think it could work.
Yeah.
Although Samoa Joe, he's very involved with games lately.
Yeah,
With his
because
voice.
he's playing, what is it, King Shark
Yeah, King
in
Shark.
the Suicide Squad game? Suicide
Yes.
Squad kills the Justice League.
Yeah, and like I think he could do the voice on his own if it comes down to it.
Oh, Joe's great. I mean, if we're gonna do the wrestling bet, just Joe, Joe,
Joe,
Joe,
Joe.
Joe, 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 Joe,
He could do it.
or Joe's gonna kill
Kill
you.
you. Oh, that totally fits this now.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite chants.
Oh,
Next to there's a Brian Danielson chant, which is done in a very British way, and I can never get the cadence. But it's essentially, "You're gonna get your fucking head kicked in,"
I love that.
which I'll brief seg and then we'll go right back to Twisted Metal. But
Yeah,
this was just so fucking good. Recently, Brian Danielson was feuding with MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and MJF is a cowardly chicken shit heel. He doesn't fight unless he has to, but he's the champion, and he's great. I mean, dude's 27 years old, maybe 28 now, and he is one of the best heels ever. So he's got a long career ahead of him. But he was feuding with Danielson, and he's standing on the ramp, and Danielson, live on TNT, on Dynamite, says, "Max, on Sunday, you're gonna get your fucking head kicked in." And MJF on the ramp is just like,
oh shit.
like, I might die. Like that's the look on his face.
His sphincter just fucking clenched really hard hearing that.
Yeah. That's I hope he wore his brown pants.
Yeah. No shit.
But he I love that sequence. But those are two of my favorite chants in wrestling is
Nice.
"You're gonna get your fucking head kicked in," and just how any music that Samoa Joe has and whatever company he goes to has that same beat.
Okay.
So the crowd can go, "Joe, Joe, 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 Joe." God, he's so good.
I mean, oh fuck. If I had to throw
the physicality of him, I think, is what makes him work as a motion actor for these characters.
Easily.
Because Joe is built like a fucking brick shithouse, but dude can fly.
Oh, yeah.
And he shouldn't be able to.
Oh.
He's built like a Samoan bulldog.
Oh, shit.
And dude can just moonsault off the top rope. Like,
holy fuck.
You're not supposed to do that. You're too big. But he just goes, whoop. Nope. Gravity. Fuck gravity.
Like, the look for him, especially with this iteration of Sweet Tooth we're going into the show. Um,
Broad.
oh, broad, but like out of all iterations, I'm glad they went with the 2012 version of Sweet Tooth
Mm.
because in Twisted Metal
Hmm.
Black, that's when you got just like the shirtless polka dot pants with
Right.
suspenders and the mask with flaming hair. And in 2012, the last game we got in the franchise for PS3, like it showed that he had a little more weight, still muscle on his arms, like no problem. But like, I'm glad they went with that and not like Twisted 3 and 4. God, I'm glad they didn't do that one.
So I just had a thought.
Yes.
Sweet Tooth is kind of like if Art the Clown was a ghostwriter.
Shit, I never put that one together.
I was thinking about that personality, and I'm like, oh, I mean, Art doesn't talk, but I feel like
No.
it's the same vibe.
It is very much so because like in the games, like in the early entries, like it was very cartoonish, more
Yeah,
adult but cartoonish.
right.
But then when you got to Twisted Metal Black, like you heard it more sinister in his voice and like he was like of course psychotic killer, but he looked at everything as like, ooh, what's this?
Dalek mug.
Oh, nice.
You will all
Be
be exterminated.
exterminated. But yeah, it just went more dark and sinister, and you heard like his own voices in his head for like planning out his kills. You know,
Nice.
like I remember like the encounter like when Calypso finds all them in the insane asylum. He's just like he just says in his head, he's like, I wanted to kill him there and then, but I figured I'd wait. You know, in the end I could always kill him later. And it just like pans off and like then you see him in his iconic ice cream truck with this.
Hmm.
And I had this as my ringtone for so long. It was like a distorted, broken, like ice cream jingle. Like it would like wind up and be ready to play and then like die down in between. I still got goosebumps from that, man. But with the rest of this cast, like they're really going deep dive in the series. They're not sticking to just one game. The whole trailer's 90s as fuck,
Yeah. Well,
which
I
I
mean,
I dig it.
yeah,
I
for sure.
um
I do hate that the '90s is nostalgia
Me too.
now.
Me too.
That makes me want to turn to dust.
Oh,
And I just regenerated. Like
yeah.
I'm days into this new body. It's a whole thing. Still bristling with regeneration energy.
New teeth.
No, I remember these teeth.
um, but even looking into more like this cast here, they got Thomas Hayden Church. He's
Great.
he's playing Agent Stone, who
Oh,
is
okay.
who
Good
is
pick.
yeah, who's outlaw.
Yeah.
But the more cast I see, it's funny because they have just the first name. I'm like, fuck you. I know who you're talking about. And
Yeah.
I went full deep dive, so like of course Samoa Joe for that. But then I saw one that was really puzzling for me. They got Peg O'Keefe. I hope I pronounced it wrong. Irish name.
Hmm.
And she's playing Granny Dread. Now, if you don't know this, that's fine because Twisted 3 and 4 were horrible. But in Twisted Metal 3, she drove Hammerhead, the monster truck.
Oh,
And the
okay.
whole thing with her, was her wish is that she was tired of the Twisted Metal contest going on. She wanted to win and just want peace and quiet in her neighborhood, so she watched her Sunday morning game shows. That was her fucking wish.
I get it.
And she got her wish, and at the end of it, it was like, what the fuck is that? Clockwork Orange. She had like
Uh-huh.
strapped to the chair with
Oh
her
yeah.
eyes peeled, and like it wasn't even a show. It was like the end of broadcast screen. And
Oh, I
she's like
love that.
strapped to the chair and she's like, turn this off. I'm done. It's just like, it was great. But then also what puzzles me is that we got another version of Hammerhead, Mike and Stu from Twisted Metal 2. They're
Hmm.
labeled in these as well. We also got Diane Rodriguez, who plays Amber, who's the driver of Flower Power in Twisted Metal
Okay.
3. Jared Bankins, Agent Shepard, who's the driver of Crimson Fury in from Head On. and that was like the Ferrari sports car.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got both Jamie and Carl Roberts for Outlaw from Twisted 1 and 2 in the show as well. I jumped with joy because I was talking with Noam. He's not here right now. He's not doing so hot. He'll be back in the next episode, folks.
Yeah.
But I told him when I was reading down the cast, and all I saw was an actor listed as Creek Wilson, Mr. Slam. I was like, we're getting him? Yes! I was like, all we're missing is Thumper, and that's all I want to see in there, man. That was like that
Fuck yeah.
purple Impala.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah. The special for him was like shock waves. It was like sound waves that like sent the opponents flying like 50 feet across the map.
Nice.
Oh, it's just beauty. And there is talks that we actually are getting a new game as well.
I also read that, yeah, which would be dope. I mean, it would probably be PS5 exclusive.
I'd hope that they bring it to PC like PlayStation's been doing with some
Oh,
of their
yeah, well,
titles.
that's probably, yeah. I meant like next gen and PC. Well, I say next gen. It's 2.5 years. It's this gen.
Yeah, true.
I'm just still playing on last gen.
Oh, me too. I don't have that kind of money to compete to get a PS5 or that. Fuck no. I can't do it. I can't do it. But yeah, like David Jaffe, the co-creator of Twisted Metal, he actually does live streams on YouTube,
Mm.
and like he'll play games and whatnot, and he'll answer like to fans and everything. Like so far, it sounds like it might be like multiplayer only, which
Mm.
I'm okay with that because like you were able to do 2-player in that back
Right.
then as well. So I don't see why you couldn't. But at the same time, I loved the story. It made you like want to learn more and more about each contestant, like why they're here and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's just like at some like depending who you played, you sometimes felt bad for some of their winnings. Like for instance, like in Twisted Metal Black, Agent Stone, the whole reason why he's in prison is that he failed to take out a terrorist in a window, and he let the anger get the best of him, and he got so furious, like he blindly shot. He missed the terrorists, but he got the hostages at the same time. And
Yeah.
his whole wish was to go back and change that. So he wins, he goes back, and he's making sure every shot counts at the guy until you hear like on the radio, was it target's not down, and you see the terrorist sit up, look at him dead in the eye, and he just gets shot point blank in the head. And all you hear like is just his voice in the background, like, I was so close to making it right. And it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, like, oh, I know I was hoping they would go darker for that TV show, but here's hoping. Like, the season picks off or gets picked up for another season and they start exploring more of it. That's what I'm hoping for. Question I got for you in this. Do you have any good memories or like a favorite memory from when you were playing it?
I mean, really kind of what I brought up earlier, like the being at Jason's place and swapping CDs in and listening to music as we played it. Because I feel like that was a PlayStation game, right?
Yeah, that was actually one of PlayStation's first ever exclusives when
Yeah.
launched.
So I didn't own a PlayStation myself,
right,
until I was out of high school.
Okay.
So I always played it at friends' houses. So that's kind of the fun memory aspect of it, is like every memory I have of this game is me at a buddy's and we're playing it. So yeah, there's good memories. People that I haven't talked to in 20 years.
Yeah. It's funny you bring up the music part because I had just remembered that again, Twisted 3 and 4 are horrible. But when Twisted Metal 4 came out, that was the first ever celebrity that they had on there. They had Rob Zombie as a playable character in that
Nice.
game. And so of course you got Rob Zombie, but like at that same time Hellbilly Deluxe came around. So you had Dragula, Meet the Creeper was like the theme to that one.
I mean, it's a good track.
But what was cool, and I remember a buddy of mine in like elementary school showed me this. He took out the disc of Twisted Metal 3, put it in a disc player, and it was the Hellbilly Deluxe album in the
Fuck
game.
yeah.
I was like, that's dope. I'm like, they don't do shit like that anymore.
No.
But
They don't
yeah,
even release complete games anymore. You pay $60-$70 to beta test the game.
like what was it? What was it yesterday? I was in I was in school for gaming development, and every now and then one of us will play a new game and we rip it apart, like we criticize it harshly. And Jedi Survivor got released.
Uh-huh.
It is a hot fucking mess out the gate.
And I mean, for 6 months it will be.
Oh yeah, like for some reason they decided to set the expectations way too high, and what I
Yep.
mean that is the specs. You need to run this game smoothly. Like what was it? They said like you need like a 3080 or a 3090 to run it perfect.
Yeah, and I read something too that the reason it runs like shit on PCs is because they copied the code from the console onto the PC one, so it's essentially trying to run the game twice and using double the RAM.
Oh yeah, like we looked at the specs of that, and they were saying like on like the actual description on Steam that it would only take about like 6 to 8 like for RAM. But when he
Mhm.
had it running on medium settings, dude, it was reading 12
Yeah, so
RAM.
that
It was
tracks with what I read that
oh,
it's literally pulling double the RAM that it needs to because they copied the console code.
it's just, and he's pissed. He wants to get a refund, but he pre-ordered it a while back and
Right.
they won't, but like I
It'll
don't know.
get fixed though. I mean, look at Cyberpunk. You
Yeah,
know,
they shaped
Cyberpunk
up good.
launched terrible,
Yeah.
but they have worked their fucking asses off
Oh
and
yes.
have put out patch after patch after patch after patch. And now, even on PS4 Pro,
Mhm.
that game is fucking playable.
Oh, it's
Like,
beautiful now. It works
yeah,
amazing.
like even with the load ins, which I mean, I just recently completed the Horizon Forbidden West.
Okay.
Um, and that game was definitely meant to be on the PS5.
Really?
Oh, for sure. Like the DLC is PS5 exclusive.
Oh,
The
okay.
DLC is not available for PS4. So I'm stuck waiting until I get a PS5 to play the fucking DLC for this game. But it's beautiful. I mean,
Oh,
it's I won't say that it's Red Dead beautiful because nothing is that beautiful, but it's
I,
a gorgeous fucking game. But there's moments where like if you're riding a mount and you move too fast, like not only does it stop trying to pop in textures, it just goes to a black load screen. This is an
oh,
open world game with no cells. And it's still having to go to a black load screen because it's trying to do. I mean, you know, the PS4 is 10 years old.
oof.
Uh, Even the PS4 Pro is several years old now.
Yeah.
Like you know, it's trying to use next gen technology or current gen technology
Hmm.
and run it on this. And it's like I was never mad when it did that.
No.
Like it never did it during a fight. It was always during travel.
Which, yeah, I'd rather do that during travel over a fight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So no, it was a good time, but yeah, running on bad hardware.
Oh,
So I think that's the thing that most people are running into with this with Jedi Survivor. I'm not saying that it's a good game. I'm saying
no.
it will be good.
Yeah, like I know like it's still something that a lot of us gamers, gamers, game consumers gotta get used to still is that there will always be a day one patch.
Yep,
Like
every time.
like should that be an excuse for someone like a developer to do half-ass? Absolutely not.
No,
But there will be day one patches. Like as you said, Cyberpunk shit the bed at first, but now
absolutely.
it changed the sheets, fluffed up
Yep.
the pillows, and is ready.
Yeah. And it took time, you
It did,
know. It
yeah.
took time, and that's it's not okay. Like, developers should not release games that are going to require 15 patches to be
No.
playable. However, if you have to send shit off to get printed because of, modern gaming and expectations of the owners of the company, a day one patch, absolutely. Because from the time you sent the version that's putting on discs or is getting loaded onto Steam or GOG or wherever, that gives you 14 more days, 21 more days, 27 more days. That's before it actually releases, to be like, okay, let's fix every fucking thing we can for the start, and boom, okay, day one patch.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. That makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
And in my, does it still irritate the shit out of me that it's not like olden days and I can just put a fucking game in my fucking console and hit play? Like, yes, that's irritating as fuck to someone who was born in the 80s. But I get it.
Yeah, like I'm on the same irritation as you. Like, I miss throwing in a game and like not having to fucking download it, not having to do updates, just put it in and go.
Yeah.
Well, like, even for my 8 terabyte hard drive that I got recently, all my games on my PC, it took me the whole week to install all of them on my PC again.
I believe it.
They finished on Friday, thankfully, and they run great. But yeah, I definitely do miss those days. I think another thing that really concerned us, like especially in our class, because we looked at it, and like, yes, Unreal Engine 5 is here, but not a lot of studios are using it yet. But there are some that are pushing for it way too quick. That the requirements to use the Unreal Engine 5, your consumers don't have the money to like get those components. Right. They don't. That's something that, like, I get it, like graphics need to evolve. But at the same time, they don't have to look realistic to be good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, first of all, to me, the main things that matter in your game is mechanics and story. That's the two things that should matter.
Absolutely.
Like you could have graphics looking great, but if the first two are shit, you just got a polished turd on your hands.
Yeah. Well, and controls are interesting. Like you said, like how it handles, because that's something I'm switching games. Finishing one game, moving on to another, and having to relearn your hand habits, especially if you just I spent 70 plus hours in Horizon.
Holy shit. Nice.
And then I move to Jedi Fallen Order, and I'm like trying to do the things that I did in Horizon, and it doesn't work.
Oh, I hate that when that happens, especially like even if
Cal does not have a focus that lets me see everything. God damn it!
It's definitely,
this is poor design.
It's definitely like, even like if you forget to touch a game, like for a certain amount of time, and you get back to it, you're like, fuck, this is not muscle memory. I can't remember the mapping.
Or you can have something that has complicated controls, like Red Dead Redemption.
Yes. Where,
there's so many things you can do, so limited buttons. So different buttons are used in different ways in different contexts. And it can take a while to learn something like that.
Right.
But then once you do, it's just fluid. And so it's how you lay it out. Because now, I can have not played Red Dead in 6 months, hop into Red Dead, and I still remember exactly how it works. Because it's so intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is something that a lot of developers don't have, is intuitive controls.
Yeah. Like, talking about controls, even when, talking, of Twisted Metal earlier, I found out on the internet they have arcades websites that you could play the old Twisted Metal games on there.
Oh, that's fun.
And I'm like, do they have controller input? Because I'm not playing with a fucking keyboard.
Oh, God, no.
And, my Xbox controller, synced up no problem.
Yeah.
But you want to know I fucking forgot about those games? You don't drive with the fucking analog stick. It's the goddamn D-pad.
Oh, Jesus.
So, I'm so used to driving, controlling
with an analog stick. Yeah.
And, I'm trying to drive and, maneuver and shoot, and I accidentally, when you, hit a certain combination, you could freeze your opponent or jump. I kept freezing and jumping in random fucking positions. Like, wow, how the hell was I good at this as a kid?
Yeah. Oh, it's a whole different thing. I mean, put an N64 controller in your hand today and say, go play Mario.
Hell no.
You'd have no fucking idea.
Mm-mm. Hard no.
Like, that is long lost information.
Oh,
There's too much cannabis for us to be able
to even fucking like fathom this. Like, what?
And I always use the N64 like a fucking weirdo anyway.
Oh,
like the way that I held the controller.
Did you hold it like one hand in the middle, one on the right?
No, both hands.
On like the outsides?
Yeah.
And you extended your thumb to the center?
Yes.
What?
That's how I played it, because that's how every other goddamn controller in the history of the world, other than the Wii, has fucking worked.
True, yeah. I never heard of anyone.
No, I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it in the center. It's not. My thumb has to extend for the analog to work. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I got what you, I do get what you mean. I never heard of anyone till you, like playing it that way. Like growing up, I always knew everyone like having one hand on the center joystick and then one on the right.
No, because what if you need to use the D-pad?
The camera D-pad. Yeah, oh god.
Like that way you can just let go of the joystick with your thumb and hit the D-pad.
Yeah, no kidding. Like fuck, no wonder why I sucked at Conker's Bad Fur Day as a kid. God damn.
Yeah, but I'm the only person I've ever met in my nearly 40 years of fucking existence on this planet that held an N64 controller that way. So I might be the only person that did that.
You are in my books, dude. Like
it's also probably why I went through so many fucking N64 controllers.
Yeah, those things
I just kept fucking it up.
Those controllers didn't hold out too long, did they?
Mm-mm. No, you'd always end up with like that chalky white substance there at the analog stick.
Right.
Okay. Where it was like rubbing away the interior.
That makes sense.
They were made of very cheap plastic.
Yeah, those are fuck. Wow, yeah, and I don't. Oh god,
they definitely didn't come out of a replicator.
I mean, the replicator would do a better fucking job.
That's what I'm saying.
Point. Yeah. God damn. Well, like the only controller that everyone hated yet I loved, well, mainly big hands, was the Duke controller for the Xbox.
Oh no. You know, that one I much prefer, and it's weird. Okay, so I used to just be strictly an Xbox man.
Right.
I'm an Xbox man! That's how I was, and that controller felt so good in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
But now I've been playing PlayStation so long, like, I pick up an Xbox controller now, and I'm like, what the fuck is this bulky shit? And it's weird, like, because it's only been like 5 years that I've been more predominantly PlayStation than Xbox.
Okay.
But now, like, this PS4 controller is so fucking comfy.
I have the same colors as that.
Yeah.
Well, like,
gotta use the red.
Like, even for this Xbox One controller, like,
yeah,
that's I've got the size of my hand. Like, fuck, this whole thing.
See, I have small hands.
Like, I could wrap like my whole one hand on this fucker if I could, but it's just, yeah, like I know, like they re-released the Duke controller
a
while back, but I heard that like it was very faulty. It didn't last too long, so I was like, I'll pass. But fuck.
Yeah, I remember going over to a buddy's house who had the OG Xbox with the Duke. And playing it, but that was one of the ones too where I was just like, I don't like, I can do the N64. I don't have the thumb longitude to reach these buttons, y'all.
It like My head just went to the fucking dumpster like American Pie style. It's like trying to fucking work the bra the first time. Like, okay, where's the
Yeah.
hook? Yeah, like that awkward moment. Like, what the fuck? How does this?
Yeah.
And then you get the expert levels, like one-handed. Like,
Oh yeah, just
yeah, like two finger. Like,
yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
just to sometimes irritate your wife.
I have yet to do that to mine, but I might have to someday. Just be like, she makes.
Oh, you go for the hug and you just go boop, and they're just like, "Why would you?" Ah, it's good.
Motherfucker.
It's good. It's good fun between couples.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't do it to random strangers. That's fucking.
Oh god,
wrong.
yeah, don't do that. That's a bad idea.
But between you and your partner, it's fun.
Yep.
Especially when it's like petty fun payback, where it's like they say a sarcastic remark, and you just stand there like motherfucker.
Yep. Oh damn it. Yeah. No, it's good. Yeah.
Oh, good shit, good shit. We go from twisted metal to controllers to undoing bras.
The poppin' bras.
It's good to be back.
It's pretty classic BPGN content.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the same without it. So, Captain Who,
Yes.
what topic do you bring to the deck?
So, two different sci-fi series have just finished up seasons.
Right,
So we had The Mandalorian
right.
season 3, which just wrapped up on Disney Plus,
Mm-hmm.
and then we also had Star Trek Picard season 3
Right.
that just wrapped up on Paramount Plus.
Mm. Were you happy?
I was happy with both.
Okay.
I really was. I want to talk more in depth about Star Trek, so I'm going to start with Mando.
For sure.
So with Mando this season, I really dug it. But it was less Din Djarin's story and more Bo-Katan's story.
Okay.
Which I'm totally fine with. I mean, the show is called The Mandalorian. That doesn't necessarily mean Din Djarin.
Mm.
Just a Mandalorian. Which Bo-Katan of House Kryze, like, yes, she is very much one of the most important figures in Mandalorian history.
Mm.
So, really dug how it went in for her. It also helped give credence to the sequels. Most of Dave Filoni's stuff has been masturbatory towards the prequels.
Okay.
Not necessarily a bad thing. The prequels are bad, and they need modern help to make people retroactively look at them and be like, "Oh, well, that was happening. This show that was made 20 years later was happening." And so give George Lucas a fucking break.
Yeah.
But I liked seeing stuff that like clones and things like that, like clones of a particular person that would be force sensitive, are introduced in Mando. And it's like, so that makes the Oscar Isaac somehow Palpatine returned. And it's like, okay, well now we kind of know how that happened.
Oh.
We've seen the seeds laid for this inevitable thing. So I liked that. I liked that they went more in with Grogu and him being not so much of a Jedi, but a Mandalorian.
Okay.
I really like that. That he might be one of the first Force-sensitive Mandalorians in a long time.
I think there was a clip I saw that they tied like Luke Skywalker in there, like they did a very like young.
Oh yeah, that was the end of season 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the end of season 2, I digitally recreated Luke Skywalker.
They did pretty good.
Yeah, well, it looked really nice.
Mm-hmm.
With Mark Hamill, and then they digitally de-aged his voice.
Right.
But Mark Hamill doing the voice, taking Grogu with him to train. But then in the Book of Boba Fett, Grogu ends up deciding he doesn't want to be a fucking Jedi. He wants to be a Mandalorian.
He's gonna be a badass little Mandalorian.
Yeah, he is.
There was, I think, like, I
And he
don't.
lives forever. Like, dude's got another 900 years in him. Like,
Fuck. I know like a few of the clips because like I do not watch Mandalorian or Picard like, but I have seen a lot of clips that have went on over like Facebook and whatnot.
yeah.
But I don't know what the hell you want to call them, but it's fucking adorable at the same time. Uh, Mando goes to like these little engineers.
Oh yeah, those are the fuck, I'm forgetting their names, but they were in one of the sequel shows or one of
Okay,
the sequel films.
and they're just like they just look at Grogu as like, no, bad baby, no squeezy. I'm just like,
Yeah, yeah.
I feel bad for these little fuckers.
Yeah, there was a bit in the earlier part of this season of Mando where Grogu just like picks one of them up. And they're like, "No, squeezy."
There's there's one student in the class that I'm in that could do the voice pretty well. And like was it the past week, the head comes up to check on us and be like, what you guys up to? And you hear him go with that voice, what do you want? No, no, it broke. Can't fix it. It broke.
Yep, Dunzo.
And then yeah, you got Jack Black and Lizzo that showed up. And I
Yeah,
was like, that's
yeah.
dope.
So that episode was very controversial
Really?
because of the cameos.
Oh.
Um, because not only did Jack Black and Lizzo show up in that episode, but so did Christopher Lloyd, and in
Oh.
like back to back scenes, and so it did feel a little like
Shoehorned.
yeah.
Okay.
But the episode itself, the entirety of it, reminded me of like a Clone Wars episode,
Okay.
which makes sense considering Bo-Katan.
Hmm.
Because her and Din were essentially doing a video game quest of go talk to this person. Okay, they need you to go do this. Okay, great. Now you've done that. Now you got to do this. Okay, now you can actually hear the information you fucking showed up here 5 hours ago for.
Right.
That was kind of their mission.
Hmm.
But it was still a fun episode. I didn't mind it. Like I thought every episode of this season of Mando was good. The last two episodes were especially good.
Yeah.
We get to see the Mandalorians retake Mandalore.
Oh.
So I don't know what that means for the future, because Mandalore was not referenced in the sequel trilogy, as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
So, but I know we're also getting a film that's going to wrap up all of this Mandalorian Disney Plus content.
So this movie is gonna be like the end of Mandalorian, like this TV series.
Yeah. So I think we're going to get like one more show. And then we've got the Ahsoka show, and we've got other stuff that's all part like built into this Mando bit they're doing. So I mean, it might be 2026, 2027 before we get that movie.
Right.
But there is going to be a feature-length theatrical film to wrap up this era of the Disney Plus Star Wars.
They're hearing that Ahsoka show on April Fools. Did you see what Disney Plus did just to fuck with the
No.
fans? They changed the release date on there, and it said December 31st, $29.99.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, you probably pissed off a lot of fans doing that. Oh god. Yeah. Again, like I haven't watched Mandalorian. I've seen a lot of the clips and like
Yeah.
it does look fun, absolutely. I might try it. I know I'm trying to finish The Last of Us
Mhm.
TV series. My wife and I, we were just watching episode by episode, and they're staying faithful to the game.
Yeah.
We're like I think two more episodes and then we're done the season one. But it's good. I highly recommend it if you haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, no, I very much enjoyed season one. I thought it was very good.
Yeah. So now with Picard.
Oh, okay. So I have lots of thoughts, and
Okay.
they're all good. So Star Trek Picard ran for 3 seasons.
Oh.
Season 1 and season 2, or especially season 1, made great efforts other than including like a version of Data to kind of not deal with next generation stuff.
Oh.
So you just had, a Picard who was near 30 years after being the captain of the Enterprise.
Right.
And being pulled back into stuff. And then season 2 was mostly like a mirror universe kind of thing.
Okay.
Which, for those who are not familiar, mirror universe is a alternate universe of ours where humans are just fucking evil. So that's probably where we're actually at.
Yeah.
But this one, it wasn't even necessarily the mirror universe. It was just a universe that the Q had created. That humans were just awful. But then season 3 of Picard is more or less season 8 of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh. Okay.
It brings back Riker. It brings back Troy. It brings back Crusher. It brings back Worf. It brings back Data. It brings back Geordi. Like, all of the bridge crew.
Oh, I think I saw this clip.
Are all back.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, again, never watched it, but I was very familiar with it on TV when it like would air. And yeah, seeing that cast all together like on the deck was kind of cool.
Oh, that, and I am man enough to say, like, watching that crew on that ship, it was the first time since 1994 that crew had been together on that set.
Really? That long?
Yes. That is when Star Trek Generations came out. And Star Trek Generations is where the Enterprise D, the Enterprise from the Next Generation show, was destroyed.
Okay.
The Star Drive was destroyed, and the saucer was crashed onto Viridian 3.
Okay.
But we now know that the saucer was recovered from Viridian 3 to protect the Prime Directive. If any Starfleet materials had been left behind on that planet, someone might have found it, and it would have enhanced or sped up their evolution, which would go against the Prime Directive.
Wow.
It was a Galaxy-class starship whose saucer section had been destroyed in the Battle of Wolf 359,
right?
Which was the first Borg incursion of Earth.
Okay.
That's when Picard became Locutus of Borg.
Oh.
When he was assimilated by the Borg. Which is kind of the whole thing this season. Like, they bring the Borg back, which, granted, they'd kind of played with them in the first 2 seasons of Picard as well, but this is like the Borg. This is the Borg that Janeway faced in the Delta Quadrant. This is the fucking Borg. Like, you will be assimilated.
Wow.
But, as we come to find, and it's the voice, it's the same Borg Queen from Star Trek First Contact, from Star Trek Voyager. Now, she didn't want to do the makeup again, and they do like a very H.R. Geiger kind of makeup design on her, which works out. But, the Borg Queen has essentially, and spoilers for Star Trek Picard, if skip ahead, but instead of assimilating like they normally would, which is literally like lay hands on you and you become Borg, they found a way. So in season 1 of Picard, Jean-Luc dies.
Okay.
And his consciousness is uploaded into a golem. Essentially the same kind of android as Data.
Okay.
But it's Picard, and the android's gonna die. Like, he doesn't get to live forever. Right. And it's still Picard. So, but his human body is dead.
Wow.
And so the Borg had people steal Picard's body and pulled the fucking DNA out of his brain that still had the Borg remnants in it from when he was assimilated. And they put that in the transporter systems for the Federation. So everyone who goes through a transporter gets Borg DNA added to them. And then, at one moment, they press the fucking button. Everyone is assimilated.
So you're saying like the whole, from what I'm hearing, like the whole crew got assimilated?
They put the cap at like 25 years old because after that, like the brain stops developing, so you can't add new cells to it.
Okay.
Loose, weird sci-fi bullshit, but whatever, we'll allow it. So the youngest crew, yes, your ensigns, which are the people that control your helm, which are the people that control, like, there's a lot of ensigns on bridge crews.
Damn.
And so, yeah, they press the fucking button. And, yeah, the Borg assimilates the Federation.
Holy shit.
And so Picard and his crew have to go to the Starfleet Museum and pull the fucking Enterprise D out of the fucking covers and be like, you're not hooked up to all this bullshit. You're old. Let's roll, baby.
Okay, I think I did see something like that. Like the
Yeah.
unveiling of that. Okay, so that makes sense with that ship.
But there's so much more, like, sorry to cut you off, but
it's okay.
Most of the action takes place this season on a ship called the Titan A.
Okay.
Now, Riker used to be the captain of the Titan. I don't remember its NCC designation currently, but this ship it's been completely redesigned, and now it's a Neo Constitution class, which means it looks a lot like the OG original series Enterprise.
Oh, like when you say original series, are we talking the one with like
1960s? Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. So it's a Neo Constitution, so it's updated for modern times, but it has all of the telltales of a Constitution.
Wow.
And so we meet Captain Shaw, Captain Liam Shaw, and he is the best character this season.
Really?
He is a fucking dick. He is such a fucking asshole in the first like 2 episodes.
Right.
Like, he's cantankerous, he's argumentative, he's dismissive. He is such a fucking asshole. And then at one point, Picard calls him a dipshit from Chicago. And let me tell you how that line has caught wildfire in the Star Trek community. Dipshit from Chicago. I
swear I do know a dipshit from Chicago.
yeah. I think we both do.
Yeah.
But then we learn that the reason he's so pissed about Picard and Riker being on his ship is he was at Wolf 359.
Oh.
And everyone he served with died except for him.
Wow.
Because their ship was destroyed by the Borg. And he recounts this after he's already been injured, and they're in the holodeck, and Picard and his son, which, yep, another spoilers, Picard has a kid, his name's Jack, and he's a whole thing. But Picard and Jack are talking, and they're in 10 Forward, which was Guinan's bar in The Next Generation, but also Guinan hundreds of years ago on Earth also had a bar called 10 Forward, which we saw in Picard.
Huh.
So anyway, they're in the Earth version of 10 Forward in the holodeck.
Right.
And Picard comes in and asks Jack about the Borg attack, Wolf 359.
Okay.
And he talks about, how there was a commander that yanked him out of everyone else, and he was the only one that survived. And, he's obviously traumatized as fuck because of it. And understandably so. And he's like, do you know what your old man was doing, Jack, during that? Do you know where he was? And it's so good. It's such a powerful powerful fucking monologue. I want to learn it and do it. It's, he was on that Borg cube setting the world on fire.
Holy shit.
The only Borg so dangerous, they gave him a goddamned name. Locutus of Borg. Like, dude is just pouring
all this information
angst. Like, well, yeah, I mean, giving us a lot of information about who he is, but just the emotion, the angst, the hatred that's coming out of him. So fucking powerful.
You gotta love that kind of delivery in a series. Like, when an actor, like, doesn't matter in a game, TV show, movie, delivers lines in that kind of tone and so passionate into that you believe it wholeheartedly, like, oh shit, this is gonna get real fast.
Yeah, and I mean, in Picard, it like cuts to moments of him where he's listening to this, and you can hear in his head where it's like, I am Locutus of Borg. Like, he's still connected. Like, he still feels it.
Like kind of like a hive mind kind of connection.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's how the Borg work.
That's fucking dark, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, but I mean, there's such bright moments. Data, who had previously died in Star Trek Nemesis in the early aughts, they brought him back kind of in season 1, where it was just like a copy of his programming. And then season 2, we still got Brent Spiner, who plays Data, but he wasn't Data.
Oh. Okay.
And then in this season, we do get Data back, but it's a new version of Data, where it's like he's everything that's Soong android created, which is what he is.
Huh.
So he's his brother. Oh my god, I can't believe my god. He's his daughter Lal. He's his brother Lore. He's also his creator. He's also like he's a bunch of different things in one now.
That's a clusterfuck. Holy hell.
But there's a great moment. Geordi and Data were always kind of like the Troy and Abed of Star Trek Next Generation. Very much where that relationship came from. And Data, I mean, just Data loved Geordi as much as an android can love someone. And there's a moment where Geordi's daughters, because Geordi has daughters now, one of them it's looking like she might die.
Oh.
Like she's in battle with changelings from Deep Space Nine. It's not looking good. And Lore, Data's evil brother, is in control of the body and is controlling the ship. And Geordi is begging, he's pleading, crying, please, Data, I know you're in there. Don't let Lore do this. Don't let this happen. Like, do you remember the time we did this? Do you remember the time we did the holodeck and did Sherlock Holmes? Like, you're like throwing anything and everything you can. And finally, Data breaks through. And Data just looks right at Geordi's eyes and is like, I am here, Geordi, and I will try. And it's such like that's a goddamn. Who's cutting onions in here? How dare?
Man, that sounds like a hell of a recap, though. Jesus fuck, that's a mind fuck. I don't even watch these shows, and this sounds like a mind fuck to the highest degree.
It's God. So good. It was such a like seeing the Enterprise D crew on the Enterprise D bridge,
right?
And seeing that ship come out, like, I was crying.
Oh, I
can imagine. I cried,
especially for the OG fans like yourself that follow.
Yeah,
like yeah.
I hadn't seen that in so long, and yeah, like it was just so fucking heartfelt.
Just hello, old friend.
Yeah,
very much.
Like the interior of the Enterprise D, that bridge. Oh, man. That's childhood.
Oh,
like that's
easily.
Yeah, it meant a lot.
Oh, for sure.
I'm very, 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 very happy that Terry Matalas, who was the showrunner for this season of Picard, that he really made sure. I mean, they recreated it down to everything. Like the last screw in the floor, like it was as accurate as it could possibly be.
That's awesome that this director stayed faithful to it.
Oh yeah, no, he's a huge mega fan.
Oh yeah.
He wants to, and again, spoilers. But 7 of 9 from Star Trek Voyager,
Okay,
is now the captain of the Enterprise G.
Oh shit! Upgrade.
So fans are begging for a 7 of 9 Enterprise series. Yes,
I'm sure it will happen.
I hope so. The
Sure.
petition to make it happen has more votes than the Strange New Worlds petition had, which is also a Star Trek show I love. So
I feel like over the years, like especially knowing you for a while now, a lot of Star Trek has been making a huge,
yeah,
not maybe a comeback. I'm not 100% sure, but it's
I think so.
Yeah, it's making itself known really good once again.
Yeah, I mean, we've got on air right now, Star Trek Discovery is going to have its last season.
Yeah.
And then we've got Star Trek Strange New Worlds. We've got Star Trek Lower Decks. We've got Star Trek Prodigy. Picard just ended,
Right.
but we also have Star Trek Starfleet Academy that's going to be coming soon.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's a ton of Star Trek content right now. We're not eating as good as we did in the 90s, but we're still eating good.
Yeah. With like 30 minutes left, some oddball things I want to toss in here that I noticed lately. So, I don't know if you've been following this thread, but we're getting a sequel to Dodgeball. And Vince Vaughn,
I did see that.
Vince Vaughn says he's in, but Ben Stiller is unsure. And I'm like, it kind of goes back to our conversation we had back in season 1, where it's like, hey, you had this time window to make a sequel.
Yeah.
Like 20 years later, no one's gonna find this shit funny anymore.
No, especially Dodgeball.
Oh, like it
Like
was a product of
I
its
haven't
time.
watched it in a while,
Yeah.
but I'm willing to bet it does not age well.
Oh God, no! Like I think when I heard about this, I actually watched the first Dodgeball movie Thursday night. I watched it, and it still cracks me up. I'm not gonna lie, but a lot of the jokes in it, I'm like, sweet fuck, this would not fly in 2023.
Yeah,
Not a chance.
yeah.
Like especially
That's
Patches O'Houlihan.
Yeah.
There's only one way you can win a success. You gotta grab it by his haunches and hump it into submission. That's the only way. It's like, Jesus fuck, that's harassment to the highest degree, dude.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's. I'm not saying I'm not gonna watch it, but I will watch it, assuming it's like a Disney made for DVD movie. Like,
I feel like it's gonna be, from my guess, because like last we left, Peter LaFleur, he won the dodgeball tournament.
right. And then Ben Stiller was super fat.
Yeah. So I have a feeling it's gonna be the other way around, and it's Ben Stiller making the comeback, and then that's my guess. It'll probably be that. Who knows?
I mean, it would have to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on that. I just think back to our talk about, like, way along, sequels.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know. Yeah. I think that was like one of the topics one of the things I wanted to throw into the ring. Next week, and my wife and I managed to score tickets for premiere night for Guardians 3. I'm going to tell you right now, because we even talked about this in my class on Friday. Are you ready for this? I'm like, yep. Let me ask that again. Are you emotionally ready for this? And I admitted, I'm like, no, I'm going to be a fucking wreck because I know what's going to happen.
Oh, Rocket's going to die 100%.
Because this is the last Guardians film. Like, my guess is this is probably the last iteration of this Guardians.
Yeah, no, in a few years they'll do a new Guardians with a new team.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Just like the comics. But yeah, this is the last go of this team. And yeah, Rocket is 100% going to die.
Yeah, like it's going to be a gut punch because out of all those out of that whole team, I love Rocket.
Mm-hmm.
I think like
Everybody does. That's why he's the character they're going to kill.
fucking bastards. But like even when you hear in interviews or like what was it, James Gunn? What was it? There was a post that he made about he had this script written and for a while now for Guardians 3. And he said it was this script made him fucking cry
Yeah.
uncontrollably at the end. Like, this is gonna suck.
Yep.
You know? And like you see on like the panels of like even at D23 last year when they announced it, and you can see like Chris Pratt who plays, Star-Lord, he's getting fucking teary-eyed. Like
Yeah.
talking about it. I'm like, fuck, this is gonna like, and you hear the reviews already because they had the red carpet premiere and it's a
Yep.
tearjerker and whatnot. I'm like, fuck. My wife's
Yep.
like, are you gonna be bringing tissues? Yep. I'm gonna
Yep.
be bringing fucking tissues. But yeah, it's just I am still looking forward to it though. Like in regards to MCU, I know a lot of people aren't too happy with how things are going. I still have hope for it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like they did release the trailer for the Marvels.
Yeah, and that looks great.
Yeah, like it looked fun from what I see it. Like you got like Beastie Boys playing in the background and
Yeah.
just to see Kamala Khan fangirl
Yeah.
like between like on it's just priceless. I love it.
Well, even Lizzie Olsen just said in an interview, like she's doesn't have anything planned in the MCU right now. She's happy to come back. But they asked her like, who would you like to work with? And she's like, the new girl, Miss Marvel. Like, I would like to work with her because her enthusiasm is so infectious. She's so cute. And it's like, I agree. Like, the way that she plays Kamala Khan is amazing.
And yeah, like she's a fan of the character like at heart, I believe as well. At least from what I've seen in interviews, which that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I think Marvels is like the last thing we're getting this year, from what
I
I've
think
seen.
so.
Because I think all aside from that,
No, we're getting Secret Wars. Or Secret Invasion.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion, that looks good. I'm all in for it. Secret Wars, I think, is ending Phase 5.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
I knew Secret something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Secret Invasion, I'm excited for. New World Order, I don't know if that's coming out this year, maybe next year, but that I'm stoked for because it's essentially sounding like an Incredible Hulk 2.
Yeah. No,
Like-
I'm down for it.
Like She-Hulk's in it. Hulk's in it, of course. You got new
Thunderbolt.
Captain America. Thunderbolt Ross. He's now the president and it's played by Harrison Ford.
Well, I mean, John Hurt, or what's his name?
Yeah,
Not John Hurt.
the original actor passed.
Yeah.
Which I understand.
What was his name? It was something Hurt.
Thunderbolt
William
Ross.
Hurt. William Hurt.
Yep. William Hurt.
So yeah, William Hurt died.
At least 2 years ago now. I
Yeah.
want to say.
So now Harrison Ford is playing Thunderbolt.
I really hope we get Red Hulk.
Me,
I
fucking
want
too.
Red Hulk badly in the MCU.
I want the Red Hulk Thunderbolts run. From I don't remember when that was.
Oh,
It
that
was mid-aughts.
Yeah.
No, not mid-aughts. Like mid-tens. Like 2013, 2014, something like that, where it's Red Hulk as the leader, and then also Red Leader. And then Deadpool and Ghost Rider and
Elektra and
Venom
Punisher.
and Elektra and Punisher.
I want to see that.
Yeah. Like, that's such a good team with such star power that I feel like that's how you introduce Deadpool into the proper MCU. Post Deadpool 3.
Yeah. Like, there's not been much on Deadpool 3, although I'm still excited for it. Like, the announcement of, like, Wolverine, like, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, just casually walking in the background.
Hey, Hugh!
I love that. Yeah, sure, why not? Just like,
yeah, all right, Ryan.
Yeah, like, I know, like, the two projects I'm worried about the most is Blade and Fantastic Four. Because both directors for those films keep changing, and they keep
I
getting
did.
delayed.
I did just read today that the people who wrote True Detective just got hired to do Blade.
Ooh. Okay, that's not bad.
So yeah, I mean, True Detective was a cosmic horror that was based off The King in Yellow, by Robert W. Chambers. So
Okay.
yeah. Like let's let them do a Blade movie. That sounds fucking awesome.
Oh, fucking right. Just all I ask, make it rated R.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, if Deadpool's gonna be rated R, which it obviously is,
Mm.
yeah, that just opens the door for MCU movies to be rated R.
And I hope with this, we start getting more dark, like
Yeah,
Midnight Suns. That's what I
I think
want.
now that they've got like you got to do the password on Disney now,
Right, yeah.
to prove you're an adult. So it's not like they have to lock the content because kids might see it. Like, gotta know the code.
Yeah. But then I think this year is the year we also get X-Men 97.
Oh yeah.
If it is this year, because from what I know, from what I've read, is that it's supposed to continue from where it left off
Yeah.
in 97, and Magneto's leading the X-Men,
Yeah.
which, please, keep it so. They did get some of the original voice actors back, like
Yeah.
the original voice actor for Wolverine's back.
Yep. Steve Bloom, I believe.
I don't know. This guy's a little older.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm going to look up his name afterwards. I'll throw it up on the
Yeah.
bottom later.
Yeah.
Do it in post. Yeah. Oh man, fuck. Like, yeah. So, guys, apologies for the hiatus here. We're fine. We're doing good.
Yep.
We're all alive and well here.
Yep.
Just, of course, yeah, with school going off full tilt, it was a bit of a setback for me, and then sickness and whatnot. Last thing you need is to hear me fucking blowing my nose and shit into the mic every now and then, and just
Yeah.
keeping with it, because fucking hell. My God. Anything else you want to toss into the ring there, Captain Who?
No. I think that's it. I think that's great. Great conversation.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Great debut for the captain.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Again, Gnome is all right as well. He'll be back in the next episode. We are gonna get back to a steady release again of the episodes, because like
Yep.
now that I got my school shit figured out, now it's helping. So now I could actually weigh out as well. So we will go back to 2-week episodes.
Yeah.
Like we'll the bi-weekly stuff. So we'll be okay for then. If you guys enjoyed this, be sure to hit that like, subscribe on the YouTube. If you got any topics you want us to cover, pop culture related, please throw it in the comments below. Until then, I am the Big Red Gamer, alongside with me.
Captain Who.
And until then, we will see you all on the next episode. Excelsior.